everybody, we're back. Day 3, and it's a big day. I have a shirt and a sweatshirt on. That means I was able to take my sling off, get a shirt on, get a sweatshirt on. Big day. Starting off in this seated saddle like we did the other day. And I'm rechecking in on this knee and how it was feeling. So if you've been following along and you remember from the seated straddle feeling something in one of the knees, how does it feel today? I really didn't want to come out here and do this today, but I actually had 2 people mention to me that they were very happy I was making this and that they were sending it to other people they knew that were going through the same thing I was going through. So here we are, day 3, and I'm already noticing some improvement, especially on this knee, which it didn't feel this good last time I did it, but doing it the first time, this time I'm doing it, still a little gunky, but way better than the first time. Benny is back, very excited. Today's a big day, right, Ben? Oh my goodness, are you gonna hang out with me? Yeah. Hi. She got a bath, and so she got a new toy, so she's very excited about her new toy. She loves it, and it's the first toy I've been able to get her that she hasn't been able to tear up. So it's also become a challenge for her, I think. She's so fast. All right, we've been trying to lay down. We've been trying to incorporate in a squat position, and I think that's what I'm going to be going for again today. And I don't want to make these too long, but I do want to spend time on the first pose that I'm doing. And that's not necessarily for any necessary reason about the actual muscles themselves, but more to get my body, mind, spirit, soul kind of centered and balanced and understanding where I am today in this moment. And that's not grocery shopping. That's not my to-do list. It's stretching, and it's healing, and it's recovering, and it's being mindful of that in this first pose that sets up the rest of the poses to be more mindful, because the more intention that you have while under tension, the more change you will make. But if you are under tension without intention, your mind is somewhere else. You're just stretching and pulling on things and not actually making a difference. So I like to sit in the first pose for just a little bit longer than most of the other poses for that very reason. All right, let's get back into those hips. Did a lot of sitting the last couple of days. I was really excited. I actually had some nutrition clients over the last couple of days I got to talk to and do some Zoom calls with, which was nice to not just stare at YouTube or, studying or doing paperwork or whatever. It was nice to talk to some people and have some interactions yesterday. So, and who knows, that probably led to why this thing feels as good as it does today. Again, I'm just pushing into my back foot. So I'm taking my back foot and I'm pushing it down onto the mat for like 3 to 5 seconds. And then when I relax that, I take up the space that I was able to get. And this is called PNF stretching. I believe it's peripheral neuromuscular facilitation or something like that, which is basically a fancy way of saying that you're tricking the body into giving you more space. So it's like if I were to tickle or put somebody in a chokehold, when I release that chokehold off of them, so when I release that pushing down on my back foot, it is going to take a breath. And that, oh my God, or that breath that it takes for a second is an opportunity for me to take up space, to push this person back, to get what I'm trying to get. So our central nervous systems respond to these acts of tension in a relaxing way afterwards. And we use that to trick the body into giving us a little bit more range of motion, which is why it's important, switching to the other side, that we put this thing into some type of a functional movement pattern afterwards. So what I mean by that is I'm doing unilateral movements. So one leg is being stretched And it's pretty rare in life that we do things on one leg. Most of the time we're on two legs when we're squatting or picking things up or jumping or walking quickly. And I want to make sure that these stretches that I'm doing aren't just stretches, that they're leading to a functional movement pattern, which the definition of functional movements are that multiple joints are moving at once. So like right now, I'm really just focused on my hip joint. That's a single joint. And while I may feel other muscles, really this is the main focus. And what I want to do is take this single joint stretch that I'm doing, and I want to help my body understand that this stretch is to make this functional pattern better. So after each set of stretches, I'll go into a squat. And I'm hoping that each one kind of improves with each one that I do. So what I'm looking for in improvement wise is, am I maintaining the arch in my foot? So can I grab the ground with my toes? Are my knees tracking my feet so they're not caving in or they're not too far out where my feet are kind of rolling to the outside, but they're in line? And then am I engaging the glutes so I feel my butt cheeks are turned on? And what's my depth look like? So right now my hip crease is above my knee. If I put a marble on my knee, it would roll that way. And I want it to roll backwards into my hip. So I push my knees out more. If I bring my hips a little bit more forward, grab the ground with my toes, I can sink a little bit deeper into it, and I can feel that hip flexor stretch that I did earlier is really helping me get deeper into this stretch and helping my glutes stay engaged too. Nice. Come on out of that. I'm going to go into a pigeon pose now. Just worked those glutes pretty hard, holding myself in that squat. So let's give them some love. And this morning I'm waking up. So I want to wake the body up as well, which means movement for me. I'm kind of like flossing, like Kelly Starrett likes to say, or I'm just grooving the hip joint, and I'm using the position of a pigeon pose to help me groove the hip joint or open the hip joint, whatever you want to say. But I'm waking the body up with movement. When I go to sleep tonight, the routine will be a little bit more static in nature, where I'll sit in the poses. I won't push into my back foot. I won't floss or groove or whatever you want to call it into these areas. Instead, I'll relax and breathe into those areas, telling my central nervous system, hey, we're going to bed. We're not waking up. So for me, it's important when I'm doing my stretches, like at our gym, Coast Range, we have a dynamic stretch that we do at the beginning of each day. And it's this passive range of motion, basically, of all the joints. And it takes it from head to toe. And it's there to wake the body back up, regardless of if it's the first workout of the day and they're, waking the body up and it's 5:30 a.m. or if it's the 4:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. class or 5:30 p.m. class and they're waking their bodies back up from being static all day at a desk setting or driving home from work, etc. Yeah, this side is so much tighter than the other side. Remember, a good tool you can use is I've got my sling on this side, so I'm going to use my knee to push my foot forward, and then I'm going to slowly try to bring my other foot back into a position that gets into a good stretch on this left side. And I'm feeling that right away when I push back and over into it. So, but good note always when you feel, man, one side is so much tighter than the other, that it's opportunity throughout the day to work a little bit more on that side and give your body the love that it needs. Especially, what's up, little spider? You go that way, okay? Especially in these times where you get the opportunity to do that when you're kind of off of work a little bit more and you're stuck at the house. Don't get stuck on the couch. Get stuck in these little poses. I think that's really good for you. All right, let's take that back into a squat. So 2 pigeon poses. Now we're grabbing the ground with our toes, pushing our knees out, bringing our hips forward. We're lifting our chest. Another important thing is keep the most of the weight middle of foot to heel. keeps the back body engaged. I feel like I'm getting way deeper into it, much deeper than I was day 1 or day 2. So this feels really good. All right, I think we'll finish where we started, but this time with a little intention. So I'm going to close my eyes. The knee feels amazing, by the way. Just to recap, sitting in this pose compared to when I first started, it's like, don't even feel anything. Good reminder that a lot of the issues I feel in the smaller joints, the knees, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the ankles, are coming from, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, the bigger muscles like the hips and the glutes, where maybe there's not enough rotation or activation of one of those things and is causing other things to overwork. So you work on the bigger groups like we just did of the glutes and the hip flexors, and the knees really start to feel better. Anyways, close it off where we started. I'm going to focus on my breath. And my breath pattern is going to be one of a 4-second inhale, a 7-second hold, and an 8-second exhale. It's called box breathing. And it's meant to wake me up. It's meant to awaken my inner spirit. It's meant to pull focus and to hopefully center me. Later tonight, when I do my breathing patterns, it'll be more of like a 4-second inhale with a 6 to 8-second exhale without the hold in between. So when I do that box breathing, the difference is you just have an inhale with a hold, an exhale with a hold. Tonight, I'll just do an inhale with an exhale. So breathing along with me if you'd like. One deep breath in. I like to set my intention with that last out breath. What came to my mind was calm and peacefulness. I guess that'll be what I go for today. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me on day 3 of my shoulder rehab stretching program. I'll see you guys tomorrow.